Swami.
Okay. ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्याचार्याय नचिकेतसे च humble prostrations to one and all present here. So in the last class, we had seen our inner layers of personality. So we were discussing the 10th verse and the 11th verse. Indriyebhyah parahyarthaha arthebhyascha param manah manasastu para buddhihi buddheratman mahaparaha. So subtler than the sense objects is the sense organs. Subtler than the sense organs is the impression created in the mind of the sense objects. Subtler than those impressions are the mind, arthebhyascha param manah. Manasastu para buddhihi. Subtler than the mind is the intellect. And subtler than the intellect is buddhiratma mahan para. The mahan atma or hiranyagarbha or the totality of mind intellect. And higher than that Mahatattva or Hiranyagarbha is Avyakta Prakriti. And higher than that Avyakta Prakriti is that Supreme Self. And what is higher than the Supreme Self? Purushat na param kinchit. There is nothing higher than the Supreme Self. Sa kashtha, sa paragatihi. That is the ultimate. Now, when we say entity A is higher than entity B, on what basis is one higher than the other? So that also we had discussed in the last class. So we have discussed 5 parameters. So what are the 5 parameters? Sukshmatvat, based on the subtlety. So anything which is subtle is higher than the gross. Anything which is sukshma is higher than the sthula. Then sukshmatvat. Second one is mahatvat. Anything which is more pervading is higher than the less pervading. Mahatva. Third one was pratyagatmatva. That which is inner is always higher than the outer. That which is inner is always higher than the outer. So inner thoughts are higher than the outer actions. That way. Pratyagatmatva. The fourth one is karanatvat. That which is the cause is always higher than the effects. Cause is always higher than the effects. Parents are always higher than the children. Thoughts are always higher than the actions. That way. Niyamakatvat, fifth one. So that which controls is always higher than that which is controlled. Controller is a master, controlled is a servant. So master is naturally higher than the servant. So based on these five parameters, we have made this what you call this gradation compared to sense organs. Mind is higher compared to mind, intellect is higher compared to intellect. The totality of mind intellect is higher. Compared to that, avyakta prakriti, the unmanifest, hmm, that is higher. Compared to that unmanifest, the supreme self, the pure consciousness is higher. So, what is the point, purpose of discussing all this? The pure consciousness is the highest. The pure consciousness is the ultimate substratum. The pure consciousness is the one which is giving existence to everything. Pure consciousness is the one which is the essence of the world, which is the essence in us. So, therefore, the purpose of life is only one, to know oneself to be the pure consciousness. As long as we don't know this, so long the suffering will continue, so long the birth death cycle will continue. So, therefore, there is only one purpose of life, to be free from all sorrows and miseries, and there is only one way to know the ultimate essence in us, the Lord in us. So, this is the purpose of the whole discussion. Now, to know this, it is not something which can be done by everyone. There are certain qualifications necessary to know this ultimate truth, to abide in it. What is the qualification necessary? So we will go to the next verse now, verse number 12, page number 173. एष सर्वेषु भूतेषु गूढोत्मानः प्रकाशते दृश्यते त्वग्र्यया बुद्ध्या सूक्ष्मया सूक्ष्मदर्शिभिः. एष आत्मा, this self, this supreme self, this Purusha, Sarveshu Bhuteshu, it is there in all beings. So, in all beings, this self is there. How is it there? It is a very Atma, the I. So, therefore, the I in us is that Supreme Lord, the pure I. The I in its purest form is the Lord. Sarveshu Bhuteshu, it is there in everyone. Not only in human beings, it is there in animals, birds, plants, insects. That very I in them is Bhagavan only. Fine, it is there in everyone, but then how is it present? Gudha. Gudha means hidden. Though it is present, it is never available for perception. It is not available for experiencing in its purest form. See, I, that Atma, everybody is experiencing as I. Everybody is experiencing. But are we experiencing it in its purest form? No. Hmm. What is its purest form? Sat Chit Ananda is its purest form. We are all experiencing it, but we are not experiencing it as it is. It is exactly like rope is there. We are seeing something there. But instead of rope, what are we seeing? We are seeing a snake. So you are seeing something. If you are not seeing anything, then even the snake will not be seen. So something is seen, but it is not seen clearly. This is a problem. Atma is experienced by everyone, but what actually the nature of that Atma is, that we are not experiencing. So Gudha, it is hidden. And therefore, na prakashate, it is not seen by all. It is not understood by all in its absolute reality. Now, naturally, a question comes, who are the ones who see it? Everybody is not seeing it, but there are some people who see it. Who are those who are seeing it? Sukshmadarshibihi drishyate. It is seen. Drishyate. Who are those? Sukshmadarshibihi. Sukshmadarshis are seeing it. Those who are able to see subtle things, they are called as Sukshmadarshi. Hmm. Seers of the subtle. Those people who are able to see the subtle, they are seeing it. But what is the qualification necessary to see the subtle? So then it is said, Agraya Sukshmaya Buddhya Drishyate. It can be seen. What is the qualification? Agraya, single pointed, Sukshmaya, subtle, Buddhya, intellect. By a single pointed, subtle intellect, it can be seen. So, in short, what is the qualification to see the self? To see the self, there are two qualifications necessary. Number one, Chitta Shuddhi, purity of mind. Number two, Chitta Ekagrata, single pointedness of mind. Purity of mind and concentration of mind. These are the two things necessary. If the mind is pure and if the mind is trained to concentrate, such a person will definitely see it. Right? To see the subtlest of things, your mind has to be equally subtle. It should have that qualification to see the subtle thing. So what is the condition? Our mind is very gross, our mind is extremely extroverted, our mind is extremely impure, our mind is indisciplined, our mind is attached to things and beings of the world. Such an impure, indisciplined, extroverted, sensuous mind can never see it. That is the whole point. See, if you want to do a subtle operation, the instrument also has to be very subtle, isn't it? Hmm. For example, for shaving, you can't just use an axe and do it. It's not possible. You need an equally subtle, right? You can't take an axe and do an operation there. It's not possible. You need those very, very subtle, sensitive device to do hmm, subtle operations. So same way is here also. So that is the purpose of describing that. Compared to sense organs are higher. Compared to sense organs, mind is subtler, then intellect is subtler, then further, and finally the consciousness is the subtle most. So what is the purpose of saying that? If you want to go into the subtler and subtler levels of your personality, then you will have to be extremely pure. So, this explains the purpose of why our life must be based on ethics and morality. All the values of life, all the virtues of life. Why should we practice? This is the reason. Unless you practice these virtues of life, mind will not be pure. And unless the purity of mind is not gained, self cannot be gained. And unless self cannot be gained, real happiness, peace, joy, contentment can never be experienced. So, therefore, when I practice virtues of life, not only that I am benefited, others are also benefited. You see, it's a win win situation. The world is benefited because of my virtuous living, and I am also benefited because of my own virtues. You see? So, this is why we all must be spiritual. Spirituality is not actually optional, it is a mandatory subject for everyone. Right. Now, with this, now we are assuming that the mind is pure and the mind is subtle and the mind is concentrated. With this preparation, now we enter into meditation. So next verse is, at the seat of meditation, what are we supposed to do? How to enter into the subtle layers of our personality, how to withdraw ourselves and go within. This journey towards our own being, This inward journey is described in the next verse, verse number 13, page number 175. Yechet manasi pratnyah tat yechet jnana atmani jnanamatmani mahati niyachet tad yechet shanta atmani. Pratnyah, the wise man who has gained a thorough understanding of the scriptural knowledge. What he should do? Vak manasi niyache. He should merge the organ of speech, vak, manasi, in the mind. Okay, then what he should do? Tad jnane atmani niyache. That mind should be merged in jnana atma. Okay, then jnanam mahati atmani niyachet. That jnana atma should be merged in mahat atma. Okay, then tat shanta atmani yachet. That mahat atma should be merged in shanta atma. So, speech should be merged in mind. Mind should be merged in jnana atma. Jnana atma should be merged in mahat atma. And Mahat Atma should be merged in Shanta Atma. What have you understood? Nothing. See, so all these verses are very mystic. And that is where the commentary of Bhagavan Shankaracharya comes. Otherwise, we'll never be able to understand all these verses. So, what is this Mahat Atma, Shanta Atma, Jnana Atma, etc.? So, let us begin from the starting. Pratnyah. Pratnyah. So, who is a Pratnya? So, Pratnya is a person who has studied the scriptures, who has done Shravanam, who has done Mananam. I hope all these terms are clear. Shravanam means listening to the scriptures. Mananam means reflecting upon the scriptures. So, what is the end result of Mananam? All the doubts are cleared. Conviction is the result of Mananam. Doubtless knowledge is the result of Mananam. I have no more doubt regarding that truth. That state of mind is what we reach after the stage of reflection, stage of Mananam. And the third stage is Nididhyasanam, actual practice. So, actual practice is what is described here now. So, such a person who has done Shravanam, who has done Mananam, and now who is practicing Nididhyasanam, such a person is called a Pratnya here. So, what is he supposed to do? Vak manasi niyachet. Vak. Here, vak means organ of speech, but here we have to understand organ of speech means all the organs of action and all the organs of knowledge. It is not just speech. So, five jnanendriyas and five karmendriyas. All the indriyas are implied by the word meaning vak. So, meaning what? At the seat of meditation, may not the eyes distract you, may not the ears distract you, may not the hands and legs distract you. Keep them quiet. They are of no use at the seat of meditation. And may them merge in the mind. What does it mean? So, at the seat of meditation, now you are coming from the world. You have transacted with the world. So, therefore, some impressions are left in the mind. So, at the seat of meditation, when you sit down with eyes closed, you will find some ripples of this world. What you have spoken to someone, what you have done somewhere, all those at the superficial level, you will feel those ripples, the waves of worldly thoughts because you are coming from the world, right? So, what you have to do is in the beginning, 5-10 minutes or say 10-20 minutes, just sit down to allow those waves to settle down, the ripples of the mind to settle down, the ripples born out of your previous transaction with the world. Because the mind will carry impression. Whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you talk, all these things will have an impression upon the mind, and those impressions will not suddenly die down. It will take some time. It is just like breathing. After running, when you sit down, what happens to that breathing? For some time, you struggle to get breath, but slowly, what happens? That breath becomes silent. This is true with the mind also. Whatever the mind is exposed to in the world, those ripples will be there, and it will take some time for those ripples to die down. Allow it to die down. That is the meaning. Vak manasi niyachet. Hmm. Few minutes, just sit in silence. You don't have to do anything. Let those ripples die down by themselves. This is the meaning. Hmm. Okay. Then what you have to do? Tat jnane atmani niyachet. After some time, slowly what happens is these ripples die down, but there are certain disturbances of the mind which comes out from within. Hmm. Now this is born out of the vasanas, the inclinations, the samskaras, the ragadveshas, likes, dislikes, all those things. Now it is coming from within. Hmm. Slowly it will start gurgling up. The mind with the vasanas of likes and dislikes, it starts coming up, surfacing. At that time, what you have to do? Let the mind be merged in Jnana Atma. That is what is mentioned. What is Jnana Atma here? It is nothing but intellect. Buddhi is called Jnana Atma. Buddhi is called as Jnana Atma. That personality in you which is seeking right knowledge. And what is that personality? It is called as intellectual personality. That is why the term Jnana Atma is given. So merge the mind in intellect. That's the meaning. What does it meaning? Merge the mind in intellect. What it means is, as the mind starts wandering, bring back the mind. Stop the mind from wandering into the world. How do you do it? So now remember, your intellect is a very strong intellect because it is exposed to the scriptural teaching. It has done sufficient mananam. It is convinced that the real happiness is within. So such a spiritually educated, scripturally educated intellect is the one we are possessing now at the seat of meditation. So now that intellect is telling the mind, oh mind, don't go to the outer world. There is no happiness there. There is no point in going out. The more and more you go out, the more and more you are going away from happiness, away from peace. Because the real source of peace, the solution to all your problems is not outside, the solution is inside. So, oh dear mind, come within. You are seeking happiness, isn't it? Don't go there. Mind always wants happiness and peace. So, oh dear mind, don't go there. Real happiness inside, come with it. So, intellect, if it is strong enough, it is able to withdraw the mind from all its external wandering. यतो यतो निश्चरति मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरं ततस्ततो नियम्येतत् आत्मन्येव वशं नये शनैः शनैरुपरमे बुद्ध्या धृतिगृहीतया आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तये. So the same verses are there in Bhagavad Gita also. Withdraw the mind. Now, will the mind listen to the intellect or not? Mind is running after likes and dislikes, ragadveshas, things, beings, and situations which it is attached to. Mind is running after. Now, will the mind listen to the intellect? Now, here there is a tug of war. Intellect wants the mind to turn within, but the mind is turned outside. There is a tug of war. So, who will win? Whoever is strong will win. So, if the intellect is not spiritually educated, And if the mind is filled with ragadvesha, then this wandering of the mind will continue and nothing will happen. Mm. Tire puncture will happen right here. Meditation will not succeed. So, the necessary condition of meditation is a very strong intellect, which is able to withdraw the attention of the mind. So, now the mind should listen to that intellect. Intellect must be powerful enough to make that mind withdraw, to convince that mind that no, happiness is not outside, it is inside. So, the loving persuasion of the intellect is what is mentioned here. Lovingly, you should persuade, not forcefully. If you are forcefully trying to withdraw the attention, then that becomes suppression. It will not last long. Anything which is of the nature of suppression, of the nature of force, through the willpower, all these things are not going to work. You have to lovingly persuade the mind to withdraw. Only then the sadhana becomes sweet. Only then spiritual journey becomes sweet. Otherwise, it is very painful journey. Hmm. Right. So, lasting results, permanent results, effortless results will happen only when we are lovingly persuading the mind to turn within. And for that, intellect must be really strong. And the strength of the intellect is nothing but the knowledge it has regarding the spiritual truth. So, tat jnane atmani niyachet. May that mind be withdrawn with the help of the intellect. Oh mind, this world is nothing but pain. It is nothing but suffering. So when you are going out, you are actually choosing suffering. There is only suffering there. Every attachment is nothing but suffering. So this conviction, intellect must have. Then what will happen? The mind also understands. Yes, yes, I must withdraw. I must look within. So now assume that the mind has withdrawn. Now what has to be done? Jnanam mahati atmani niyache. Now the mind is cooperating with the intellect. Now what has to be done? This jnana atma, this intellect, should be merged in mahat atma. So what is this mahat atma? It is a total mind intellect. Or as we had discussed earlier, it is a hiranyagarbha or mahat tattva. Or in modern language, we can call it ishta devata, your personal god. Saguna devata, saguna brahman. It can be Rama, Krishna, Shiva, whatever it may be. So your Ishta Devata, that Ishta Devata is called Mahat Atma, meaning the totality. So now the mind and intellect together, it is worshipping that Supreme Lord who is omniscient, omnipotent, all powerful, all loving, full of infinite love, infinite compassion, unconditional love. So you are turning your attention to that Supreme Lord. So in this sadhana, you can bring into your mind all those moments when you were in tune with the Lord, when you found peace in Bhagavan, inspiration from Bhagavan, guidance from Bhagavan, strength from Bhagavan, solace from Bhagavan, help from Bhagavan. You know, there are so many instances in the life of a devotee where he was really in trouble and then he prayed and something happened and miraculously he came out. There will be so many such instances where the Jivatma gets connected to Paramatma and he receives help, guidance, strength, inspiration. Hmm. So then what happens? The heart is filled with humility, filled with gratitude, filled with peace. Yes, there is somebody who is with me. I am not alone. There is somebody who is ever there to guide me, to bless me. Hmm. I am never alone in this life. There is somebody who is always with me. So what happens then? The heart is filled with love and devotion for God. So then that heart becomes a blossomed heart. So just like we have a blossomed lotus, there is a closed lotus and there is a blossomed lotus. In the same way, there is a closed heart. A narrow minded heart is called a closed heart, and there is a blossomed heart. So, what do you mean by a blossomed heart? A heart filled with such noble emotions, emotions of, you know, gratitude, love, devotion, etc. And this is an absolute necessity for successful meditation. You can't bypass this stage. Heart has to be fully cooperative at the seat of meditation. Head and heart both must be there. Head with its clarity, heart with its noble emotions. So head and heart both have to be there. So this is the meaning Jnanam Mahati Atmani Niyache, turning the attention of your intellect to that Mahat Atma, to that total intellect, to that Supreme Lord. Hmm. So here the meditation of the Lord is not as, Nirguna, Nirakara, Akarta, Bhokta. No, it is not that. It is Saguna Sakara Brahman or Saguna Nirakara Brahman. Saguna. It is full of gunas, full of virtues. So we meditate upon the virtues of the Lord, hmm, the glories of the Lord. This is what we do. So, what should be the result of this? The result is our heart becomes filled with noble emotions. Heart is cooperative. So, head is cooperative and heart is cooperative. And once your full personality is involved in this meditation, now what is the state of your mind? Very peaceful and charged with noble emotions. At that stage, what happens? At that stage, one thing very clearly happens. You start clearly experiencing the presence of consciousness. Hmm. Consciousness is clearly seen as an entity very different from everything else. Consciousness very clearly seen as different from thoughts, different from mind, intellect, everything. In a pure mind, that consciousness is clearly seen, illumining everything as the very support of everything, untouched by anything. So at that time, what are we supposed to do? Tat Shanta Atmani Yache. Now, this consciousness is called Shanta Atma. That self in you which is peaceful, which is free from all thought modifications. Shanta Atma or Ananda Atma. So then what are you supposed to do? That Mahat Atma should be merged in Shanta Atma. Once you start experiencing that, what you call bliss, blissful consciousness, turn your attention to that consciousness and abide in that consciousness. After that, don't entertain any other thoughts. No worldly thoughts, no spiritual thoughts. So in the beginning, you have worldly thoughts. Replace the worldly thoughts with spiritual thoughts. Once the spiritual thoughts take over, then the mind becomes extremely pure. And in that pure mind, you clearly experience the presence of consciousness. And once you start experiencing the presence of consciousness, shift your attention to consciousness, be that consciousness, remain firmly rooted in that state of being. That is the meaning, merging Mahat Atma into Shanta. Put in another words, once the mind is filled with spiritual thoughts, now after that, no more entertain any thoughts, drop the thoughts by witnessing the thoughts. This is a final stage. So remember the example of pole vault. In the beginning, you run with the pole, you fix the pole, Then you climb the pole, and finally, once you have reached to the top of the pole, drop the pole. So, what is the pole here? Mind. Hmm. So, dropping the pole means what? Dropping the mind. How do you drop the mind? By witnessing the mind. You are not paying attention to mind, you are not entertaining any thoughts, you are just abiding in that pure consciousness. Right? So, this is a journey in meditation. This journey is an inward journey, and in this, all these aspects have to be taken care. Now, sometimes what happens is people directly enter into witnessing. So, which step is skipped here? If you directly get into witnessing, the step of Mahat Atma is skipped. From Jnana Atma, can you directly go to Shanta Atma? From intellect, can you directly go to witnessing? It will be difficult. Unless the heart is pure, unless there is this emotion of devotion, this witnessing is going to be difficult. The point is, unless the mind is purified, hmm, witnessing becomes difficult. To the extent the mind is purified, witnessing becomes easy. So, therefore, it is always good to have a Saguna Ishta Devata with which you can develop a love relationship, a relationship of devotion. Our emotional personality has to be involved along with our intellectual personality. Only together we can succeed in meditation. So, this is our journey in meditation. Right now, do we have any choice regarding this? So, the 14th verse, a very famous verse. More of it we will discuss in the next class also. So, now we will just simply look into it. The simple meaning we will discuss. Page number 177, verse number 14. उत्तिष्ठता जाग्रत प्राप्य वरान् निबोधत क्षुरस्य धारा निशिता दुरत्यया दुर्गम पथस्तत्कवयो वदन्ति. So now Shruti Mata is saying, Uttishtata, arise, get up, Jagrata, awake, wake up, arise, awake. The famous Swami Vivekananda statement, arise, awake, stop not till the goal is achieved. So that arise, awake is actually from here. Uttishtata, Jagrata. So Swami Vivekananda was quoting from Kathopanishad. Uttishtata, Jagrata, arise, awake. But then Swamiji says, what is that? Stop not till the goal is achieved. That is not here. So what is actually here? That's what we are going to see now. Prapya varan nibodhata. Gain this great knowledge. How? Prapya varan. Approach the varan, the noble ones, the great ones, the enlightened ones. Those who have gained this knowledge, approach them. And then nibodhata, gain this knowledge. And in this path, don't think that this path is very easy. Kshurasya nishita dhara iva duratyaya. This path is very difficult. How difficult is it? Kshurasya nishita dhara iva. Like sharp razor, walking upon the razor edge. Sharp razor edge. So this path is something like that. Duratya, it is difficult. Tat pataha durgam. This path is difficult to attain. Kavayaha vadanti. This is what the wise people say. Okay. So, uttishtata, jagrata, prapya varan nibodhata. So now we may get scared by listening to all this. Oh, it is so difficult, then I think I am not fit for it. I don't deserve it, etc., etc. No, no, that is not the purpose of telling this. The purpose of telling this is be serious. Don't take it very casually. Don't think that you can attain spiritual attainment just, like a side business. You know, so many things you are doing along with this, with the one more. You can't. Unless you make it the very purpose of your life, you will never achieve success. Now, again, I'm telling you, purpose of life doesn't mean that you leave everything and, you just, no, that is not the point. The point is, spirituality must be your highest priority. You are doing everything in life only for spiritual progress. This is called making spirituality your highest priority. So I am a housewife so that I can become a better spiritual person. I am a professional, I am doing everything well so that I will grow spiritually. So everywhere I am practicing virtues. I am keeping the spiritual progress in mind because at the end of the day, this alone really matters. So, with this goal, that in my life, at least few more steps, I must grow spiritually. This alone is a real progress. All other attainments are not real attainments. All other success, like financial success, etc., are not real success. Real success is this spiritual growth alone. With this goal in mind, when we proceed, then that is called as, giving highest priority to spirituality. Only such a person will attain success. So that is the point. So mentally, we must be prepared. I am keeping a very high goal, and therefore there is a price to be paid, and therefore I cannot take this path lightly. This preparation of the mind is what is needed, right? So uttishtata, get up, jagrata, wake up, don't go on sleeping. So here, Shruti Mata is, so Bhagwan Shankaracharya says, here we can find the infinite love of Mother Shruti, our scriptures. Nahi upekshitavyam iti Shrutihi anukampaya aha matruvat. Like a mother, like a mother who is always telling the child, hey, get up, it's time for school, school bus will come now. She will not allow the child to sleep because the child has to get up and go to school. The school bus will come. The child is not very serious, but the mother will come running. So, what is the first thing? Though the child is sleeping, what is the first thing she will do? She will lift the child and make the fellow sit down on the bed, isn't it? If you see these terms, Uttishtata, Jagrata, the first one is getting up. Uttishtata means get up. Jagrata means wake up. No, tell me what comes first, waking up or getting up? You first wake up, then you get up, isn't it? You don't get up and wake up. You see, Uttishtata means getting up. Jagrata means waking up. So, Bhagavan, did Shruti Mata do some mistake here? Because the order is little, messed up. So that is why this example is given by Shankaracharya. No, 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 it is not messed up. It is absolutely right. Like the mother who wants the child to get up and go to school. What will the mother do? The first thing is getting up. So the mother will make the child get up and sit on the bed. Then only the child is waking up, you see. Isn't it? So in the same way, Shruti Mata is telling us, get up. You are not here to sleep. So sleeping means what? So here sleeping means dreaming actually. Okay. So in the dream world, unreal is misunderstood as real, real is misunderstood as unreal. This is what happens in dream. Real body is not seen, unreal dream body is seen. We think that is real. Dream people are seen, we think that is real. Dream world is seen, we think that is real. And then we consider that as real and we live our life. Hmm? So this is what is happening to all of us now. We are actually dreaming that I am this body, dreaming that this world is real, all the happenings are real, and I am here to settle in this world. This is called as dreaming. So what is Shruti Mata saying? Get up! You are not here to, settle here. In this impermanent world, nobody can settle. There is a purpose for which you have come to this world. Know the purpose and work hard to attain that purpose. So more of this we will see in the next class. So a lot of things have to be discussed here. So now I think we can have some question answer session.
Yes, anyone, you can unmute and ask.
Namaskar, Swamiji. Pranam.
Huh.
Swamiji, when we say that our purpose is spiritual attainment and spiritual growth, and wherever we are playing our role in the life, in samsaric life, but our purpose is that we are serving for the spiritualism. And daily we should see that how we are progressing ourselves. How would we know we are progressing? Like, I want you to, of course, there is a knowing about how, what it should be, but still, if you can just tell more about that, that how would one know that there is a progression happening?
Remember that FIR test? Tell me, what is that FIR? Forgot. Anyway, I am here to remind you again and again.
Wake up.
F means frequency, I means intensity, and R means recovery time. So how frequently you are disturbed? F. How intensely you are disturbed? I. How quickly you recover? R. So FIR. So what happens as you walk in path of spirituality is there is less and less of disturbance of mind. There is more and more of peace. There is more and more of contentment. There is more and more of clarity. There is more and more of acceptance. You see, you slowly a part of the mind says that everything is perfect. Even when things are not going upright, things are going sixes and sevens, but one part of the mind always says that no, no, everything is fine only. And whatever is happening is fine. So you are having a kind of peace, even when there are worldly ups and downs. So this is what happens in spirituality. You are able to handle all problems with a cheerful smile. And this smile becomes broader and broader as you start growing in spirituality.
Got it, Swamiji. Thank you so much.
Right.
Hariom Swamiji, I had a question.
Huh.
Swamiji, suppose somebody is unable to, think of a Sagun God. Is it possible to think of any spiritual master with qualities?
See, you can do anything. The only condition necessary is your heart should be filled with love and gratitude and devotion, etc. How you are doing it, it's left up to you. You may be using one form of guru also. That is also fine.
Okay.
Guru bhakti is also, absolutely fine.
Swamiji, sorry, there's another thing I wanted to ask you was that this Chintan Dayanandini, that book, I just purchased it today. So now how do I go about it? It's like to read a paragraph in the morning time, you had suggested. I
See,
mean, one for every day.
you see the title, read daily, live fully.
Ah,
So read, daily read, one page you read.
okay.
If you find it is heavy, then maybe you can take 2-3 days.
Okay, so like 365, one for each day, like that.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you so much.
Hariom Swamiji, I have a question. Again, I'm also requesting you to remind something that maybe I've also forgotten. You said pure mind and impure mind. So what is purity of mind? What is impurity of mind? Could you please remind again?
See, when the mind is filled with anger, jealousy, hatred, greed. We know that it is impure. So such kinds of thoughts, you will find that the mind get disturbed. So anything which disturbs your mind, know for sure that some impure thoughts are passing. Anything which disturbs the mind. And anything which quietens the mind, makes the mind peaceful, serene, hmm, that is because of good thoughts, noble thoughts. Right.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Ah,
Swamiji, I have my son, he's 22 years old, and completely he will not understand all this spirituality at all. I keep saying things to him on and off and crossing here and there, but he is like big no to all this. So how should I, like little things that I should do to attract him to this world of spirituality? I gave him the chariot example
ah,
to make him the effort so that like he's able to make his mind strong. ठीक है सुन लिया बस with a half mind.
hmm.
So something that I really want that he should be like just attracted to this world. I'm doing all this day and night. So somewhere I want him to be there.
Amma, when did you come into spirituality?
Since childhood I'm there, but since last 5-6 years very deeply into it. My childhood was I'm like totally spiritual since childhood. My surroundings have been like that.
Why is it that in childhood you never showed interest in spirituality? Scriptural study.
Scriptural study, no. Scriptural study, not at all.
Why?
Yeah. Maybe I don't know. We were doing something else.
Ah, so just like you were busy with something else, your son is busy with something else.
Swamiji, the basic problem that I'm facing with him is that his strength of he goes by his sense organs more he follows his mind, his controlling, he cannot control his mind. ये problem है main.
Amma, dekhiye, we cannot change anyone. And remember, this also needs a hunger. It is called a spiritual hunger. If there is no spiritual hunger, there will be no value for spiritual food.
Yes.
So therefore, there is a time for everyone to enter into spirituality. You cannot force it. Only a hungry person will value food. In that same way, only a spiritually hungry person will value the spiritual food. So when you were young, you never valued it. It was ever available. Don't say that satsang was not there, therefore I could not go. No, it was available, but you did not pay attention because that
Yes.
hunger was not there. Today,
Mm.
after the life has made you ripened through various experiences, through various ups and downs, now the mind is prepared to appreciate. Now it is able to appreciate the spiritual truth mentioned in the scriptures. Now you are valuing it. So a ripening is necessary. So
Yes.
mind becomes ripe through various experience, the marriage life, children, and so many things, profession. So generally we find this that as a person becomes old, this knowledge becomes more and more valuable. You understand the value of this knowledge. So don't try to force anything upon your son. Only thing you need to do is keep on living these values. Because as you start living these values, you become more and more peaceful. You become more and more matured in life. Your understanding, your decision making, the way you carry yourself, the way you behave, that maturity can be seen if you're following these spiritual guidelines. This maturity is something which your son will observe. And then that son will get attracted to you. Yes. You see, I am so disturbed, but look at my mother, how gracefully she is carrying in spite of all these ups and downs in life. I am shattered, but my mother is so peaceful. So when he starts seeing that peace in you, that is the time when he will start listening to you. So till you live this spirituality in your own life, transform your personality through this knowledge, your words will have no much effect on your son. So where should we start from?
living the life ourselves first.
Yeah, that is the whole point.
ठीक है स्वामी जी.
Nothing wrong in exposing him. See, there is such a thing. You can expose him to this knowledge. That's all you need to do. Don't expect him to, suddenly get attracted and all that. No, just expose. Just like, a gardener exposing the plant to sun, gardener putting some water. It is up to the plant to take water. Gardener is not worried. Gardener just put water, he puts manure, he exposes the plant to the sun, and that's it. What the plant needs, let it take. Don't insist that no, you must, take this much of water. Don't insist anything. Don't inject water into the plant. Only put the,
Yes.
what you are doing is you are taking a syringe and
Nee,
injecting
I
water
am,
into the plant.
I
Don't
am
worry.
just like he comes and sits with me. I try to give him this. It really put the whole chariot thing in front of him. Okay, he heard it. At least he heard
That's
it.
good. But
Yes,
that's all. At least
yes,
he heard it. That itself is a great thing.
yes. Thank you so
That's all
much.
you need to do. Yes.
Thank you.
Swamiji, because you are explaining meditation and all, तो हमारी तो अभी ये स्टेज है कि टाइम सेट कर लेते हैं, मॉर्निंग करना है, तो महीने में 2 या 3 बार ही नंबर आता है, और हाँ, उससे ज्यादा नहीं बैठ पाते ऑनेस्टली. दूसरी चीज, बैठ भी जाए तो हमारे तो वर्ल्डली रिपल्स ही चलते हैं, उसके आगे तो कुछ होता ही नहीं.
ना महीने में 2-3 बार क्या बैठ
बैठ
पाता?
पाते हैं, हाँ, रेगुलरली तो हम बैठ ही नहीं रहे, हमारे तो ये स्टेज है.
नहीं बैठना है ना. You have to sit. See, whether you are successful in meditation, that's a different matter. But at least are you sitting or not? उतना तो करना है. See, half an hour when I sit, at least I am telling God that Bhagavan, I want you, and this time is for you.
ओके.
So somewhere Bhagavan, उनका हृदय द्रवित हो जाता है. It hard, अरे बाबा, वो that poor person. Every day is sitting. I must do something. तो थोड़ा तो कुछ करना है. अब आप बैठे ही नहीं तो फिर वो तो है ना.
जी. लाइक पूजा पाठ जो रेगुलर होता है वो तो कर लेते हैं.
Very good, very good. That also is a kind of meditation only.
ओके.
हाँ,
वो तो लंबा जाता है, ठीक है, 1-1.5 घंटा
कोई
तो
बात
रहता
नहीं.
है.
उसमें यदि आपको आनंद आता है तो वही कीजिए आप. ये सब करने की जरूरत नहीं है. वो पूजा पाठ ही कीजिए, लेकिन आनंद आना चाहिए अंदर से. एक तृप्ति, एक संतुष्टि.
उसमें एक चेंज आया है. पहले क्या होता था, फटाफट काम कंप्लीट करना है, ये पूजा करनी है, ऐसा लगता था
हाँ,
जैसे कोई भगवान पे एहसान कर रहे हो. खुद को
हाँ,
तो कर नहीं रहे, भगवान पे एहसान कर रहे हो.
हाँ.
आजकल एक भावना आती है, वो करने के बाद में भगवान को थैंक यू बोलते हैं कि आपने हमें ये मतलब फैसिलिटी दी कि हम ये पूजा पाठ कर पाए, बस इतना ही
हाँ.
फर्क हुआ है.
Correct, correct, correct. That also
ग्रेटफुलनेस
is
आती है.
yes, very good.
हाँ,
That is called gratitude.
या, हाँ,
So after puja, you find a kind of peace, isn't it?
यस.
हाँ, तो बस वही है, वही. That is a proof that Bhagwan has really blessed you. तो उसी में आप, यदि उसमें आपको आनंद आता है तो वही कीजिए आप.
जी, वो तो चल रहा है,
Okay.
लेकिन ये मेडिटेशन के लिए सेपरेट टाइम नहीं हो रहा है.
थोड़ा थोड़ा कीजिए, मे बी 5 मिनट 10 मिनट.
हाँ, ठीक है.
पूजा के बाद बैठिए, 5-10 मिनट बैठिए.
ओके, थैंक यू.
तो फिर जैसे जैसे आनंद आएगा, ऑटोमेटिकली दिस शिफ्ट विल हैपन. A time will come when you want to do more and more of japa, more and more of sitting in silence. वो अंदर से बुलावा आना चाहिए, तब तक तो हम कुछ कर ही नहीं सकते.
राइट.
हम्म.
थैंक यू स्वामी जी.
Right.
Any more question, or should we invite?
Swamiji, one small thing that I need to can I discuss if we have time?
Yeah.
हाँ.
Swamiji, I was going through the Tattva Bodha part,
Hmm.
and उसमें Tattva Bodha नहीं, Guru Paduka था. आपके जो हैं lectures, उसमें like you were discussing that it is all like spirituality comes out from misery. This life is a misery, then you're attracted towards spirituality. So if I am in a happy state of mind and still I am attracted towards spirituality in a very strong way, so I was just trying to judge that maybe it was in some past life that I had actually realized that spirituality is the main thing. So in this lifetime, maybe in a happy state of mind also I'm being attracted. जरूरी
Yes.
नहीं है कि कोई भी बहुत ही मिजरी में हो तो ही जाएगा स्पिरिचुअलिटी में.
देखिए, why do you need spirituality if you are already happy? So there is some incompleteness. Somewhere there is something lacking. There is
Swamiji,
somewhere
I
some
do
fear.
remember I had also asked you in some of my previously I had asked you that there is already such a lot of satisfaction and love in life that I do not desire swarg. आपको याद होगा मैंने क्वेश्चन when we were talking about स्वर्ग, description of स्वर्ग, why do you desire स्वर्ग? So I had asked you at that time कि स्वर्ग की उसको मैंने आपसे पूछा था स्वामी जी स्वर्ग की इच्छा ही ना हो तो already we are in such a swarg like situation in the house, so we do not need, I do not चाहत नहीं है, फिर भी I am so much drawn to God, so much drawn to spirituality. I'm listening to your talks day and night. So I was just judging, maybe it is some past life thing that I've already gone through such stages in life in my earlier times, that in this state also I am drawn towards this. This is what I was just interpreting.
हाँ, possible.
यही possible है स्वामी जी.
Possible. See,
Every
are you
bit
really
in
in
my
Swarga?
house,
Wait a minute. Are you really in Swarga now?
every bit. Swarga, means I'm satisfied,
Amma, the
contented.
point is, there is always a better situation. For example, just now you said your son is not listening to you. Suppose your son is very much listening to you and very obedient and very much serious about spirituality. Won't you be more happy?
Yes, but I have realized
So,
that it's okay.
so there is always a scope of higher and higher.
Yes.
See,
So that even.
there is always, that is called a Swarga then for you. There is always a more conducive environment which at present you are not aware of and therefore you are not liking it. But suppose you are there, you will definitely like it. But at present you are not aware of, therefore you are not liking it. ऐसा भी हो सकता है ना?
ऐसा भी हो सकता है, yes.
Ah, so this, the ananda keeps on growing. So there is a great possibility there in future. As you keep progressing, you will start experiencing that.
ठीक है स्वामी जी. But I'm getting more and more content. I'm becoming more and more happy actually.
Good, very good, very good.
Yes. Thank you, Swami ji.
Right.
Swamiji, sorry, I had a question disconnected with this. So motivation basically is always connected with, I mean, is motivation bad? Because motivation is always with something which is more. I mean, you're going to get something, you'll get more.
See,
I mean,
I want more of devotion, more of dispassion, more of knowledge, more of peace. What is wrong? The question is, what are you motivated for? If I'm motivated for some external worldly thing, then it is dangerous. In spirituality also we need motivation. I am a what you call greedy person, greedy for devotion, greedy for dispassion. There are so many values. What is wrong?
Pranam Swamiji.
Ma.
Swamiji, out of context question. Do you plan to complete the series on Srimad Bhagavatam?
See,
You've
what
done
is
chapter
happening
1
is,
and 2.
What is happening is, now I'm becoming more and more busy.
Thought as much.
When I started it, I thought I will complete slowly. But now, as though Bhagavan doesn't want me to complete.
Even those lectures seemingly are a year apart. They are not one after the other. So you said last year when we met, we covered this particular portion until this. It's
Correct.
beautiful. It's really, really nice. It's creating a very different kind of quest within is. So I reached out to Rupama and she said that there are portions like the birth of Sri Krishna that you've done, and then Kapilopadesh that you've done. So you've done all of that in bits.
Correct. Yes.
But so I thought it's an opportunity to ask you if you can keep that in mind as well. We may not want to, I mean, you may not have time to do lectures like this for us, but whenever you can get time, because you've really taken time to do the first 2 chapters. I think the 29 lectures just on that. It's as if a movie kind of plays in front when you're talking. So it's very beautiful. We've attended kathas, but those kathas which happen in 7 days don't touch it in so much of detail. They talk about a story, and then the session ends, and then one after the other. So it's spaced out like that. But here it's very nice, and I believe there's a lot of science in that. There's a lot of evolution theory in that. We understand time. You've explained so well over there. From the minutest to the magnified. So it's very well. It's a great treasure. I love that part where you mention that every 10 years or so there is a different theory which overrides the previous theory in the scientific world, but nothing has happened so far, and everybody actually comes towards the Vedantic side, and very nice it is. So
Yes.
just whenever you can get time.
Yes.
Swami,
Let us see.
Swamiji, it's like we have already seen season 1 on an OTT channel, and season 2 is anxiously awaited. And we are sitting at the edge. Ki ab kya hoga?
So no more questions. Swamiji, we can conclude with your.
Yes, Amma. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.